Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 1 practice test. Remember to show every step and to write your answers on the lines provided. So let's go ahead and get started. Given the function on the right, find the values of x so that f of x equals 1. So if they're telling me to find x, that must mean they're giving me the y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to y, and where y equals 1, I'm going to draw a horizontal line. And what I notice is that it meets 1, 2 times. Okay? And those are at the points -2, 1 and 2, 1, which tells me that my answer is D. Okay, write the point slope equation of the line through the value. Let's see, we have -4, 7, and a slope of 2/3. So remember that point slope is the y minus y1 equals your slope x minus x1. Okay, so I have, let's see, remember which one's your x and which one's your y. So that turns into y minus 7. Ooh, y minus 7 right away. So y minus 7. Uh-oh. Got it. I didn't even finish my equation, but I'm going to do it anyways. So y minus 7. Oh, and guess what? That's not it either. Do we not have the right answer here, guys? Y minus 7 equals, uh-oh, 2/3 parentheses x plus 4. So we're just going to go like this. There we go. It's fixed. All right. Number 3. Which of the following equations represents the line graphed on the right? Circle all that apply. Looks like we're going to have a lot of work to do here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to this graph and take a look at and see that my y-intercept is 0, 4. And my slope, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go up 7 over 2. Okay? So if I were to write that out, my slope is 7 over 2x plus 4. Okay? So right away, I know that C is the correct answer. Now, I know that A is not because it's in the wrong form, but I'm going to go through and solve each one of these. So I have -7x plus 2y equals 4. So I'd want to add 7x to both sides. Okay, and then I got 2y equals 7x plus 4. Like, ooh, this could be it. But then when I divide everything by 2, we get y equals 7 over 2x, woohoo, plus 2. Okay, so it's real close to B. Okay, I know that C is the correct answer, but D. Okay, so for D, I'm going to have to distribute that. Okay, so when I distribute, I got y minus 11 equals 7 over 2x. I'm going to move this real quick so it's over here. So y equals 7 over 2x, and then 7 times 2 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, and to get the y by itself, I get y equals 7 over 2x. -7 plus 4 is 4. Ding, 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 ding. We got a match. Okay, so for E and F, I want you guys to solve those ones and figure out which one it is. Okay, so go ahead and pause that video and good luck. Okay, and E did not work, but F did. So my final answers were C, D, and F. All right, find the value of f of negative 3 if f of x equals x squared minus 4x plus 8. So when they tell us the x, that's when we simplify. Okay, so I have f of negative 3 equals negative 3 squared minus 4 times negative 3 plus 8. Okay, order of operations, I need to do exponents first, and that gives me a positive 9. Okay, negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12. And now 9 plus 12 is 21. And 21 plus 8 is 29. So we would say that f of negative 3 equals 29. Or we can just write our answer. Okay? So same thing with 5. They're saying g of 4/5. I want to know what happens when I plug it in. So I don't know negative 10 times 4/5 off the top of my head, so I'm going to take my calculator out. And of course, now that I've done it, I actually figured it out in my head. Oh well. So negative 10 times 4 divided by 5. Anytime we have a fraction, we put it in parentheses, and we get negative 8. So then we have negative 8 plus 8, and that is 0. So g of 4/5 equals 0. That's function notation. But we just have to write the x. All right, write the slope-intercept equation of the line described. So, do you guys remember your, slope formula? Remember, we have to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's going to be the first thing I do because they give us 2 points. Okay, so I have 1 and 2 negatives, make that a positive 2. And then negative 4 minus 2. So on the top, 1 plus 2, we get 3. On the bottom, I have negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. And I always reduce that, so I get a negative 1/2. Now, that's just my slope. Okay, so now that I know what my slope is, I'm going to go into point slope. And it doesn't matter which one you use. I'm just going to use the 2 and the negative 2. So this is my x and this is my y. Turns into positive 2. And that's negative 2. So the first thing we have to do is distribute a negative 1/2 x. Negative times negative is a positive, and half of 2 is 1. To get the y by itself, we have to subtract the 2 to both sides. And we get y equals negative 1/2 x minus 1. And that's our final answer. All right, number 7. So with number 7, we've got our point right here, but then the keyword says perpendicular. So I need to steal my slope. My current slope is 4/1, but I want the perpendicular slope. So that means it's going to be opposite and reciprocal. So this is the slope that I need to use. So I'm going to go into my point slope. I'm going to use my new slope of negative 1/4, and then my point. There's the 5, and then negative 8 turns that to positive. I need to distribute, which gives us y minus 5 equals negative 1/4 x minus 1/4 of 8 is 2. All right, and then we need to add the 5 to the other side. And we get y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. So y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. Okay, let's go ahead and flip it over. So it's saying to graph each equation, and of course my graphs aren't here. So hold on a sec. All right, so we're just going to zoom in and go for this. Oh, sorry, it's going in the opposite direction, of course. So what I like about my first one is that it's already in slope-intercept form. So I can see that my slope was a negative 4/3, okay, which tells me I'm going down 4 and to the right 3, and that my y-intercept is 0, 7. So at 0, 7, I draw my first point, and I go down 4 over 3. Down 4 over 3. Okay, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And I think that's it because I can't go up. So what I do now is grab my ruler to make my line. And there it is. Okay, so we like that one because as I'm coming back over here, my slope was a negative 4/3, so we went down 4 over 3, and then the y-intercept was 0, 7. Now, for number 9, if you notice, the y is not by itself, so I'm going to add the x to the other side. I get 5y equals x plus 40, and to get the y by itself, I need to divide everything by 5. So we get y equals 1/5 x plus 8. Okay, so that means my slope is 1/5. So I go up 1 to the right 5, and then my y-intercept is 0, 8. Okay, so I'm just coming back to my blank graph over here. So I know that I need to start at a positive 8, and I go up 1 over 5, up 1 over 5. And I'm going to do that in both directions. Okay. And I'm going to line it up. Draw my line. And don't forget to add your arrows. Okay. So next one, we just need to solve. We're going to go ahead and distribute. So we get y plus 6 equals negative 2/7 x. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 divided by 7 is 2, and it's going to be a negative 2. And then we're going to subtract 6 to both sides. So we get y equals negative 2 over 7x minus 8. All right, so that means my slope is a negative 2 over 7, which means I'm going down 2 to the right 7. And then my y-intercept is 0, negative 8. So it's 0, negative 8, I'm down here. I go down 2 to the right 7, and then I'm going to go in the opposite direction, up 2 and left 7, and draw my line. And there you go. Okay. So for number 11, it says to write a slope-intercept equation for each application problem and answer the questions that follow. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys pause the video and see if you can highlight, circle all the key information and figure it out. Okay, pause the video and good luck. Okay, so I know that X is the extra gigabytes, Y is going to be the cost of the bill. They gave me 3 numbers, so one of those is our slope. and the slope is the 15.30 because it's got the word per next to it. And then I have the point 2 comma 95.60. Okay, so I'm just going to go into point slope, and then I've got my slope is 15.30, and then remember which one's your x and which one's your y, so there's my 95.60 and 2. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and distribute the 15.30. So I have y minus 95.60 equals 15.30x minus, let's see, we have 15.30 times 2, which gives us 30.6, and that's 30.60. And then I'm going to add 95.60 to both sides. That cancels. So to get that y equals 15.30x, and then I have a negative 30.6 plus 95.6, and we get 65. All right, so right up here we would say that y equals 15.30x plus 65. All right, and of course my other equations are randomly missing, so we're going to go back to the other document. Thankfully, Mr. Grice was prepared and has this ready. So how much will Gloria have to pay if she uses 3.5 extra gigabytes? Okay, so remember, that is the X. So as I come back here, I know that X equals 3.5, so I'm just going to go into my equation, Y equals 15.30 plus 65, and we're going to add 3.5 in for X. So as I start to solve this, 15.30 times 3.5 equals 53.55. And I'm going to add that to 65 to get my final answer of 118.55. Okay, so sorry, I'm just going to write that down. 53.55 plus 65. So our total bill would be 118 and 55 cents. Okay, next one. Once again, go ahead and pause the video, circle, highlight, whatever looks important. Good luck. Okay, so they gave us 2 points, and those are the points 3, 193, and 8, 493. And you might be like, Mr. Grice, those points are really, really weird. Yeah, they are. But did you look right here, say let x equals 0 represent 2005? Okay, so if this is 2005, then this would be 2006, 2007, 3 would be 2008, and then we would just keep counting to get the other ones, okay? So what we need to do first is, I'm going to go back to the other document, just because it's easier to write in there, but I've got 3 and 193, so I've got 3 comma 193 and 8 493, right? Yeah, okay, sorry. So I need to find my slope. So I've got my y's 493 minus 193 over my x's 8 minus 3. Okay, so 8 minus 3, I can do that super fast. That's 5. And then I have 493 minus 193, which gives us 300. Okay, and then 300 divided by 5. is 60. Okay, so remember, this is our slope. So now I can go into my point slope to figure it out. So 60 is my slope. I'm just going to use my smaller point of 193 and 3 and solve. So I'm going to distribute the 60 to get 60x minus 180. Okay. And then add the 193 to both sides. And then we get y equals 60x plus, is that 13? Yeah, plus 13. Okay, and that's your equation that you're writing on that line. Okay, now, what year did he have 373 movies in his collection? Okay, that's the next one. Remember that X was year, so that means that Y is our movies. Okay, so they're telling me, hey, 373 equals the 60x plus 13. We need to go through and solve this. So I'm going to subtract 13 to both sides. And then we get 360 equals 60x. And then I'm dividing both sides by 60 to get 6. So it's not 2006, guys, okay? Remember, 2005 equaled 0. So if I add 6 to this, we're going to get the year 2011. Okay? So just so you guys see what you should be writing, here would be y equals 60x plus 13, and this is the year 2011. Okay? All right, let's go and flip it over. Hey, this one worked. So the table below shows the shoe sizes and height of 10 people. Use the data to answer the following questions. Create a scatter plot of the data and describe the relationship between shoe size and height. So you should have your calculator out for this. Remember, we should always go into y equals, make sure the plot is on, that this is on, and that's on. Stat enter, and I'm going to go through and enter all of that data. Okay, you don't need to watch me do it. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and do it on your own. Good luck. Okay, so I entered all of the data, and here's my window. I did an x-min of 6, x-max of 14, and then y-min 60 and y-max 80. And when I go to graph it, here we go. Okay, now, what's going on with this relationship? Well, the two things they're talking about are shoe size and height. So as we go to the right, as our shoe size increases, yeah, the person's height increases. So I would say as shoe size increases of people, their height increases. All right, next one. Write the equation of the line of best fit and round to the nearest hundredth. So I'm going to enter, I go to stat calc, line reg, and I'm going down to calculate. Rounding to the nearest hundredth, the 0.49 would actually change to 0.50. So y equals 1.50x plus, going back to the calculator, 52.56. Yeah, that's right, just 0.56. So 52.56. Now use your equation to find out the approximate shoe size of someone who is 78 inches tall. So in here, X's was my shoe size, and Y, so this is Y, is my height. So I got to go to 76 equals 1.50x plus 52.56, and we're going to solve. Okay, so solving means we're going to subtract the 52.56 to both sides, and 78 minus 52.56 equals 25.54 or 24.44. And then I'm going to divide that by 1.5. And I got 16.96. And if I were to round that, that would be 17. Okay, so the shoe size is 17. So use your equation to find out the approximate height of someone who wears a size 13 shoe. So this time they're telling us the x. So we get y equals 1.50x plus the 52.56, and we're plugging in 13. So 13 times 1.5 equals 19.5 plus 52.56, and that equals 72.06. Well, we're supposed to round to the nearest inch, so when I go to round that, we're going to say that y is equivalent to 72 inches tall. Okay. All right. 3 more. Almost done. So find the average rate of change over the interval 4, 6. Remember that these are our x values. Okay. So when x is 4 and x is 6, now if you want to, you can write those points of 4, -1 and 6, -5. You can, but all you have to do is count. And I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, so I went down 4 to the right 2. So we'd be saying that my delta y over delta x, change in y over change in x, -4 over 2, and that is, yeah, it's just -2. Okay? The function is such that f of 5 equals -4, so that's the 0.5, -4, and -5, -2. And we're doing the same thing, guys. Okay, we're using, this time we're using the slope formula. Okay, so I have -2 plus 4, and then on the bottom I have -5 minus 5. And when we simplify that, the top, -2 plus 4 is 2. The bottom is -10. And when we reduce that, we get a -1/5. Okay? And the last one. Use at least one complete sentence to explain why f of x equals -1/5 x minus 3 is the function described in question 16. Okay? So, in that equation, they gave us 2 points. Okay? So you can pick any of those 2 points. I'm going to go with the point 5, -4. So if I have -1/5, sorry guys, brain fart. So we got, here's my function. I'm going to use the point -5, I'm sorry, 5, 4. So this is my x and this is my y. Okay? So this should make a true statement. So if I plug in 5, my answer should be 4. So f of 5 equals -1/5 x minus 3. So if I plug in 5, my answer should be negative 4. Let's find out. Well, negative 1/5 times 5 is negative 1, and negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. Math, isn't it crazy? Okay, so we know that the slope is the same, okay? Because this was negative 1/5, and my answer was negative 1/5, so the slope is the same. And the points are part of the function. Okay, and guys, that's it. Now I know this was a long video, but guess what? That was a long review. All right, practice test. So if you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Unit 1, practice test. Thanks for watching.